Starting in 1769, Serra and other Franciscans would build a total of 21 missions. He also believed in forced religious conversion.
Often, the missionaries are accused of forcing conversions. The handbook Itinerario para Párrocos de Indios, which occupied a place second only to the Bible, stated that enforced baptisms shall be considered null and void.
Native communities like the Chumash, the Tongva, the Ohlone, and the Kumeyaay, and many others were coerced or kidnapped into these missions, and Serra ran these missions with an iron fist. He believed that Native people were childlike and needed strict discipline. He approved of whippings.
Friars took on a parental role for mission natives. These missions have been criticized because the friars would issue truancy searches by soldiers, and bad behavior of neophytes was corrected with corporal punishment. But let's remember that not up until very long ago, corporal punishment was inherent in any educative system for every country. Truancy laws still exist to hold people accountable for various obligations within our own society. Within the walls of the missions, many indigenous people were protected from attacks that were carried out by other indigenous tribes. Let's not forget that Rousseau's Eurocentric theory of the noble savage is false, and there never existed a harmonious world among the natives. Tribes would war constantly amongst each other, causing a multitude of deaths, even in California. Additionally, by 1778, the first Native American mayors and councilors were freely elected by their mission peers to serve their local interests. What other European society offered such political liberties at this time? But
Catholic missions along the California coast. But these weren't just churches, they were forced labor camps.
But natives were forced to work. Well, everyone worked in Spanish society. Even Spaniards in the peninsula worked. It was a generative empire regardless of your race. In fact, there existed ordinances in the Americas requiring Spaniards who were able-bodied vagrants to work in mines. The average workday was between 5 and 7 hours, with many holidays and all Sundays off. A standard calendar throughout the Spanish society. The Spanish missions, along with evangelizing, taught the indigenous to read and write, along with various trades and occupations, like the construction of adobe houses, aqueducts, irrigation canals, animal husbandry, and methods of European craftsmanship. It should be kept in mind that most of these people were nomadic and had to learn everything from the ground up. They were unfamiliar with what can be seen as a sedentary lifestyle. Despite the disease toll, these settler societies remained attractive to many nomadic natives, given the notable production of resources. This increased population of Christianized indigenous people would later be eliminated by U.S. Protestant citizens during the gold rush. That a war of extermination will continue to be waged between the races until the Indian race becomes extinct. Peter Burnett, January 6, 1851, first governor of California. Within the last 4 months, more Indians have been killed by our people than during the century of Spanish and Mexican domination. Mexico protected the Indian. We are unwilling to attempt to dignify by the term war as slaughter of beings who at least possess human form, and who make no resistance. The majority report of the Joint Special Committee, 1860. If the Indians were to kill me, they should be forgiven. St. Junipero Serra, December 15, 1775.
The Catholic Church also ran residential boarding schools. What about the unmarked graves of indigenous children who were killed in these boarding schools?
Whoa, I heard the Catholic Church has a mass grave of native kids murdered by nuns. Front page. Should we fact check it? Oh no, we don't have to, because I don't like them. Okay. Hey, great reporting. Thanks.
The excavation would be an effort to determine the truth of the reflections identified by ground-penetrating radar that was done twice over this location in the past 12 months to lead to greater certainty of the extent and location of the reflections. We are now concluding the excavation of the 14 locations under the church. The archaeological team we hired from the University of Brandon, which is the same archaeological team that is relied upon by regional police agencies when doing archaeological excavations, found no conclusive evidence of human remains in their excavation.